for decades, and one of my favorites of yours is The Outsiders, which came right after One from the Heart. And it's so emotional, it's so powerful with loss and bittersweet redemption and all that. Did the experience you went through with One from the Heart have an effect on how you made the movie and what you made for The Outsiders?
Well, that's a good question, because the first thing I do when I'm approaching a movie is I sort of ask myself, well, what's the theme? What's the theme in a word or two? Because all the questions, when you make a movie, you make a million decisions a day. And you have to have a rationale of how you're making the decisions. And a lot of them are gut decisions, but when I don't know the decision, I say, well, what's the theme? And with The Outsiders, much of what the movie was about, we made the film in that style. In other words, the young boys, for those of you who don't know the movie, there were a group of young boys called the Socias. They have money and Mustangs and girls. And then there's the Greasers, they have nothing, they have each other. And so I had all the actors who were going to play the Greasers to live in a horrible slum hotel. And all the boys who were going to play the Socias in a really fancy hotel. And they got more per diem meaning. So the Greasers started to hate the Social actors. So, as a director, you try to use the dynamics of the story to help the actors, because the actor's job is a tough job, I have no doubt about it. So anything you can do to help the actors to be in the mood and to have the disposition to behave a certain way that would be honest, you use. The beautiful thing about The Outsiders, which is something very fun, because I love young people. I'm basically a camp counselor. When I was 16, I used to be the drama counselor. I do plays with the little 6-year-olds and the little 7-year-olds. And I love children more than just about anything. And I got a letter after my great failure of One from the Heart. I was in bankruptcy. I got a letter from not a high school, it was a younger school librarian, that the children in her library class loved The Outsiders as their favorite book, and they wished that I would make a movie of it. And it was signed by 30 kids, all the little signatures. And I said, if 30 kids want me to make a book, I'm going to make the book. And we bought The Outsider and read it, and it's a very beloved book by young people, any kid who reads it. In fact, recently I met a French girl, about 14, and I asked her, the daughter of a friend, I asked her, have you ever read a book? And she was on her iPhone, and so I went. And I found a copy of The Outsiders in French, and I mailed it to her, because once a kid reads that book, they get the habit of reading. And I made it for the kids. I really did, it's a sweet movie, but it's something young people really love, those themes of that movie. Then it was a little saccharine for me, so I immediately made a second film called Rumblefish, which was in the same place. I just stayed there in Tulsa, and Rumblefish I made as an art film for kids, all kind of black and white and existential, and I made it all for little young teenagers to get another vision of youth, of the opposite, in fact, the antidote to The Outsiders.